In this video, I will be talking about the Three Kingdoms period of China, focusing on the many talented heroes of that time. Zhu Huan was a talented officer who hailed from the Wu commandery. He was a member of the Zhu clan, one of the four most prominent families in the area, so he naturally ended up serving Sun Quan's kingdom of Wu, some point around the year 200 AD. His prestigious background earned him a role as a county chief, but his privilege soon turned to disaster when a plague broke out, causing thousands to exodus the area. This left the price of provisions at an all-time high, and many people without jobs or food. Zhu Huan opened up the county office's storehouse to the public, so he could feed and distribute medicine to those in need. Eventually the crisis was averted, and the people relished Zhu Huan's goodwill and grew fond of him. To help bolster the region's economy to the previous standards, Zhu Huan was tasked by Sun Quan and given 2,000 men to locate the commoners who had previously fled the county. This job took Zhu Huan a few years, but he was successful in rehousing around 10,000 people. Up until the year 222, Zhu Huan was not given any role in the mobilized armies that were fighting on the front line, but was instead left in a governing position within the Wu kingdom. Whilst the armies drafted the young and the strong, the economy became stretched, which increased the Wu kingdom's civil unrest. This caused a couple rebellions in two separate counties, which Zhu Huan took upon himself to quell. Sun Quan recognized this with a promotion and a marquis title. His promotion led to him succeeding a man named Xiao Tai, inheriting the responsibility of guarding the key strategic location of Rushu. The inevitable Wei army led by Tao Ren soon descended onto the area, and so began the Battle of Rushu. The first move to be made was by Tao Ren. It was discovered his main unit would first attack a nearby town, so Zhu Huan also sent his main unit to protect that area, but it was all a trick. This became clear to the 5,000 defending Wu men when the attacking army numbering tens of thousands marched upon the fortress. The Wu army morale plummeted. They had been outsmarted, outmanned, and not to mention Tao Ren was a more experienced and famous general than Zhu Huan. But Huan was versed enough in strategy to know that they still had the upper hand. Invading armies with equal morale should be double the size of defending ones, and that's whilst on flat ground. Huan surprised his men when he said that they would win this battle 100 times out of 100, because not only are the enemy tired, but also the terrain is advantageous to Wu. With a mountain to the south and a river to the north, they cannot be surrounded easily, plus with the high walls to protect them, victory is guaranteed. Under Zhu Huan's direction, and with revitalized spirits, the Wu army took down the fortress banners and ceased the war drums to create an illusion of weakness, which successfully baited Tao Ren into ordering his son, Tao Tai, to engage. Two other Wei officers, Chang Diao and Wang Shuang, were ordered to launch a surprise attack on a small island in the river, which housed the defending army's families. Zhu Huan had predicted the island attack, so launched an all-out charge against Tao Tai, while simultaneously revealing ambush units on the island. This ploy sent the Wei officers fleeing back to their ships, which had already been captured by some Wu soldiers. Zhu Huan's charge pierced straight through Cao Tai's unit towards the Wei camp, which was then ransacked and burnt. Meanwhile on the island, Cheng Diao was killed in combat, whilst Wang Shuang was captured. Over 1,000 Wei soldiers drowned trying to escape, and what was left had no choice but to surrender. Victory was achieved and Zhu Huan was rewarded handsomely. 6 years later, in 228, the Battle of Shi Ting was fought between Wei and Wu. Zhu Huan proposed a strategy to the acting commander Lu Xun, claiming to be able to capture the enemy general Tao Xu by blocking his escape route with 10,000 men. Lu Xun declined the ploy, predicting its failure. Instead he opted to give Zhu Huan and Quan Kong 30,000 men each to attack the flanks of Tao Xu's unit, whilst Lu Xun's unit charged the enemy head-on. Tao Xu's massive army had previously been caught off guard in an ambush before arriving at Shi Ting, so this flank maneuver completely finished off the Wei army. Tens of thousands of losses were counted for the Wei army. Lu Xun had his men collect all the weapons and armour of the enemy, resulting in a massive victory for Wu. Zhu Huan peacefully lived out the rest of his life in the Wu kingdom until his late 50s. He was a kind-hearted individual who spent almost all of his fortune on helping others and their extended families. so much so that his own family didn't even have enough to pay for his own funeral, so Sun Quan provided the funds in the end, and also promoted Zhu Huan's son, Zhu Yi, into all of his father's old positions. If you enjoyed my video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.